I think one thing that will help going forward is I would urge all of you, and I urge this not only in politics, but also in terms of just your daily relationships with the people, is be wary of black and white distinctions. Okay? What do I mean by that? Do not simply assume, for example, that just because you know that someone is a Trump supporter, that that person is a racist. Any more than you should assume that because someone is a Biden supporter, that that person is a socialist. Or because someone is a Trump supporter, that person is anti-immigration. Or because someone is a Biden supporter, that person supports the Black Lives Matter movement. Or just because someone's a Trump supporter, maybe they're pro-life. Someone's a Biden supporter, that means they're pro-choice. Oftentimes nowadays, and I think detrimentally so, people vote for singular issues. Sometimes people say, I remember some years ago, gas prices, I don't know if you all remember, but gas prices were well over $4, getting close to $5 a gallon. And I had to commute to Hartford every day. It's killing me. I'm spending like, $300, $400 a month on gas. How would you guys like that? No, okay? And I used to joke and I would say, look, I don't care who's running for president. Whoever can deal with the gas prices, that's who I'm voting for. I was joking, but let's face it, a lot of people now, this is what they do. They say, this is the issue that's most important to me. And this is the party that represents this issue for me. And I don't really like that person from that party, but because this issue is most important, that's who I'm voting for. Now, personally, I think that's a mistake. I think you have to look at the whole platform, because sometimes you look at one issue and you neglect a lot of other issues that are very, very important too. And sometimes you forget the failings of the person who is representing that party. Now, I will tell you, personally, I think this is a failure of the two-party system in this country, but that's a whole nother matter, okay? But my point being, don't make assumptions and pigeonhole people into certain categories because of who they support, because it may be a lot more nuanced than that. They may not simply support this person because of what you assume they support this person for. So, in that vein, it's in your best interest and in this other person's best interest to actually discuss it and say, well, why do you support Biden? Or why do you support Trump? Okay? And going forward, why do you support person X? Or why do you support person Y? Don't assume that, oh, well, I can't talk to this person because they've got a so-and-so sticker on the back of their car. All right? That's just as discriminatory as perhaps the views that you are assigning to that person. Right now, let's face it, there's an issue of President Trump offering a concession speech and saying, okay, the other guy won. He wants to fight it and claim rigged elections and this and that. Just stop, okay? 4 years ago, same thing happened. Trump won. And within months of his inauguration, someone's on the House floor saying, I demand the impeachment of President Trump. Just stop, okay? Some of you play sports, okay? And let's face it, anyone who's ever played a sport, anyone who's ever played a board game for that matter, you know that sometimes cheating goes on, right? But unless you can prove the cheating, what do you have to do? You just say, all right, you know what, good game, you won. If you can come back and prove that the footballs were deflated, okay, you've got a case. In the meantime, just own it, just accept it. Don't sit here and blame the situation, don't blame the game, all right? Those people 4 years ago who were like, oh, I gotta impeach this guy. No, the fact of the matter is you lost. Deal with it, right? And you talked about Benjamin Franklin's virtues. This goes to the virtue of humility, all right? Because unless you look at the situation and accept it for how it was, and the fact that you lost You do not ever look in the mirror and say, okay, how can I get better? How can I improve? Don't blame the game. Don't sit here, oh, the election's rigged, there was some vote. No, stop, you lost. That's it. Ball game. Sometimes the other side is just better, right? No matter where you go, there's someone bigger, there's someone better, there's someone smarter than you are. Okay. You know, they just beat us. Shucks, we did everything we could. All right, they're just better. Or sometimes, hey, I was off my game today, right? Michael Jordan did not score 30 points every game. Tiger Woods sometimes misses the cut, okay? Babe Ruth struck out. It happens. And you just accept it and move on and try to get better. Okay. Last point I'll make, with going back to point number one about not seeing things in black and white. Ideally, most people who go into politics, remember this, ideally, all right, they go into it, it's because they care about the public. It is a role of public service. Yeah, some people go into it for the prestige and the fame and maybe a little bit of the money. But at the same time, most people go into it because they want what's best for the general welfare, like the founding fathers, right? None of these guys were doing it for prestige and money. They were really upset about the situation. They were concerned about their rights being infringed upon, about their friends' rights being infringed upon. Okay? They felt like they had a just cause. And many people today go into politics for the same reason. They believe that they have a just cause. They want what's best for the country. Now, of course, people have disagreements. People may say, look, what I think is best for the country is less government. What I think is best for the country is more government. But so long as both people, both members of both parties come to the table with the same goal, with the same purpose, you can make some headway. It's like when people get divorced, right? Some of you may have parents who are divorced, maybe even going through the process. But so long as the parents want what's best for the kids, they can make some headway. If one parent comes to the table and says, I don't care about the kids, I don't care about anything but me, then you're going to have a problem, okay? Maybe those two sides can't reconcile about certain things. Now, top two reasons people get divorced, money and kids, okay? But it may just be that one side says, look, I think this is the best way to raise the kids. And the other person says, you know, I think this is the best way to raise the kids. The Whopper person, the Big Mac person. They're never going to see eye to eye. But they both enjoy a fine meal. All right, fine meal. Okay? They both want what's best for the kids. So long as these people keep that in mind, whether we're talking about Big Macs, we're talking about divorces, we're talking about politics, then we can make some progress.